Hello everyone, this is Valkyrie Force, and I'm going to be playing the original NES Contra, just like I promised. And yeah, I'm not going to be doing the 30 lives code, because I don't need that. But, it's classic Konami code, up, up, down, down, left, right, B, start. Or select start, I guess if you want to do two-player, but yeah, I don't really need that. But yeah, and actually I hear the game goes into hard mode if you do that, but I don't know if that's true or not, it's been too long. Anyway, this is a part of the arcade Contra, and this one came out just a year later. The arcade Contra was February 20th, 1988, or 87, excuse me. This one was 1988. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting because Super Contra, the arcade sequel, that one came out just a month before this game. So, before they even came out with the home console port of the first game, they already did the sequel. But, yeah. Anyway, if you're familiar with arcade Contra, you can see clearly a lot of the same mechanics come back, spread gun, machine gun, rapid, all that good stuff. And of course gun turrets and those random joggers of death, or whatever you want to call them. The killer joggers off the coast of New Zealand. But yeah, this battle wall, I do like that the first level, Jungle, it's actually a lot longer in this version. You can tell, and this game actually popularized the run and gun genre, so that's pretty cool. I think most people, from what I hear at that time, there were a lot of people who had this game. It was just one of those. I guess you could say it was an essential NES classic. In the vein of like pretty much any website you go to, they have top 10, top 20 lists for Nintendo games, the original Nintendo, and you have the Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania, and Contra. Pretty often it usually cracks the top 10. But yeah, you can see, well, there's my first death. And then of course this barrier doesn't hurt you, shocks you. Or stuns you, I guess. But yeah, and Contra, usually you don't have any like life bar or anything like that going on, just one hit kills. But yeah. And you have these 3D corridor levels coming back, but yeah, it's just kind of mostly the same stuff, guys jumping left and right, trying to shoot you, ducking. You can pretty much dodge everything but the grenades by ducking. Ooh, that got pretty tight there. Yeah, and you pretty much have all this good stuff coming back. This boss looks pretty much exactly the same. Kind of awkward to do it with just standard rifle, but, gotta do what you gotta do. Times like these, I think a lot of people like to have rapid controllers. I think maybe Konami took a hint from that, maybe that's why they pretty much made the machine gun the standard weapon. Oh, pfft. I was thinking that would dodge me, but I guess not. I guess this one likes to fire a lot more projectiles than the arcade one, or the arcade version. I do like the soundtrack for this game. I think it's one of the better NES soundtracks, one of them anyway. Just like it's one of the classic titles, as you well know. Most anyone at this time had this game. I can't really say for sure, though, on first-hand experience or anything. I was more a Super Nintendo generation guy. That was pretty much when I grew up. Oops. I guess I'll just stick with Fireball for now. Once again, it's not one of my favorite weapons, but oh well. And yeah, you have this waterfall stage. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot more going on for it. Of course, a lot more of these guys, joggers, I guess. It's quite a lot going on in this one. I do like. I think the arcade version, really, of the first Contra, it's fun. I will say that. I just kind of feel like this game's like where it really was. I guess you could say Konami like. Oops, you gotta pay attention a little bit here. But I do think this one was a lot more, I guess, accessible, for lack of a better term. I just really feel like this one really defined the genre, the run and gun. It feels a lot better platforming-wise, and definitely controls a lot better. The jump feels a lot better. you don't have that problem where you're trying to turn left and right and then your gun kind of arcs in a circle or half circle or whatever. You know, like, it would take kind of a while to do stuff like that. It didn't quite play as smooth as you would hope it would. Yeah, this is one of the first alien bosses right here. Classic waterfall boss. I do remember playing this game in the early 2000s. This was actually, this is a game that I played in the early 2000s. That was when I first played it, but Contra 3 was actually the first Contra game that I ever played otherwise, because that one came out in 92. And I remember my brother would get home from high school. He was in his high school years. I was a toddler. And I remember him and his friend, like, they would go to his room and they would both play this game for the first time and play two-player. And I remember watching them play through the whole game. But yeah, that was my exposure to the Contra franchise, was through Contra 3. And it wasn't until much later when I started using the internet in like late 90s, early 2000s, that I found out about, I guess, some of these NES Contra games. And I think, actually, like, my brother had like a CD with, it was like a burn CD with emulators and stuff like that on there. And it had like some NES emulator on it with a bunch of games, and Super Nintendo emulator, a bunch of games, you know, all that good stuff. And I remember looking through the list of games and playing them, and that was when I first tried out this game, and then eventually Super C also. But yeah, and used to play this game and Super C with my sister. We'd do the 30 lives and 10 lives code for those two games. Yeah, good times. But yeah, I've pretty much gotten so used to this game, I just don't really need the 30 lives code anymore. Yeah, so this stage 4 is more of the same, kinda. You know, not much to say about it. You've got those same little rolling things and the electric fence. But yeah, more running in straight lines. These funny little guys running left and right. But yeah, this is one of the popular games on the NES. It's one of my favorite games personally. Of course, knowing me though. Anyone who knows me knows, you know, I've always been a huge Contra fanatic. At least since Contra 3. Oh, well, there I go again. But yeah, it was pretty cool though, growing up and getting to discover some of these games for myself for the first time. But otherwise, some of the first NES games I played were like Little Nemo, Dream Master, and Lode Runner, and Super Mario Bros. 3. Those are some of the first ones that I remember. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it was mostly kind of Super Nintendo when it came to some of the first games that I really got into. It gets kind of tight right here. I don't know why I destroyed those barriers, come to think of it. Usually you want to destroy that gun turret first before you destroy those defenses, but I got a little carried off talking about games. I was too busy being a nerd, basically. So, oh well. Boy. Yeah, this is kind of where I wish I had a rapid controller right now. Or at least a good weapon. I don't really mind it that much, I guess. I am kind of glad they did away with that in later games. And like I said, I think Konami took a hint about, you know, people using rapid controllers and stuff like that. Well, there you go. It's been a little while since I played this game. I'm pretty much used to playing this game in Super C quite a bit, but it's been a while because for a while I've just been kind of playing the arcade games, since I don't play those ones as much, but I got kind of hooked on playing a lot of Contra games lately. I think due to the 30th anniversary is actually coming up this Monday on February 20th. Since the first arcade Contra came out in February 20th, 1987, so it's about 30-year anniversary. I know Konami's kind of been making a lot of questionable decisions lately, but a little part of me kind of wonders if they're even going to acknowledge that it's the 30th anniversary. Like, obviously I wouldn't really have high expectations or think anything big is coming. I mean, obviously that'd be nice, but even a little bit of an acknowledgement might be nice, you know. like happy 30th or something, I don't know. Good old spread guns back. You got these spike cars coming up in a little bit here. These guys, usually you would stand on the far side and just keep mashing the fire button, or the B button, I guess. Here it's a little easier because I have a spread gun, so it's not too bad. But yeah, anyway. I do like the music in this level too, by the way. And it would actually, most of this first Contra soundtrack would be reused in the Game Boy game Operation C. I remember this would be used on like Stage 4, something like that. Yeah, this is like one of the better co-op games they had on the original Nintendo, I think. There were quite a few great games to play when it came to, you know, you play with a friend or someone, or sibling. Oh, I guess I timed that wrong. But yeah, Contra is pretty much a classic in that regard, you know, you pretty much always want it to be two-player. That was one of the problems with, well, pretty much all the Contra games are two-player, but I think the only one that isn't two-player, from what I know, or probably the Game Boy Contras, at least the first ones. I know Contra Advance has two-player, but there were the first Game Boy ones, and then there was Contra Adventure for the PlayStation was the other one. Yeah, that's the other one. So that saucer was actually a mini-boss in the arcade Contra, but here it's an actual boss. So you have little differences here and there, tiny bit. And of course these last few levels actually would have all been one level. It's actually stages 4, 5, 6... Or actually, no, not 4. But 5, 6, 7, and 8 would be just one long-running level in the arcade version. Here it's actually done separately. I do love the visuals of some of these levels here, like this. You know, Energy Zone looks pretty cool. Yeah, and I like the music too. I remember one time I was in Hawaii, and I went to the mall with my friend. I had a friend who lived in Hawaii, and I went to visit him one year. And we went to the mall one day, and I guess they had one of those, I don't know what you call them, like, it was kind of like a plug-and-play, but it had like a bunch of NES games built into it, and it looked like an N64 controller. Yeah, I just took another hit, but anyway. And it had, I guess they had Contra on it, because I remember going to this mall, and they had like Contra playing on every single screen, and somebody left controller, I guess, on rapid fire or something, because there were like two players just sitting on this one level, or the Energy Zone, that is. And they were just jumping up and down, just firing rapidly. And it was just sitting there by itself like that. Yeah, I just kind of have random memory recollections like that. It was pretty cool. You know, it's always cool to see stuff like that in public. We have this funny little Energy Zone boss, I'm sure everybody remembers. He looked more like a football player in the arcade game, but here he looks much more robot-like, as he should. Does that funny little jump and throws those little spikes, or whatever they are. Oh. Haven't been playing too well this session. It's been kind of playing the other games a bit more lately. It's been a little while since I played this one, but usually, yeah, I got a little bit of mixed results, but shouldn't usually take me that long to get the hang of it again, but I guess I'm also a little bit distracted talking about all this stuff. But whatever. We're having fun, aren't we? I do like this one also has, we get a little bit more of that first level jungle stage music. Would have been nice maybe to get some little original, but actually I don't really mind it that much, you know. There's some games, you know, they do it where every level has a unique theme of its own, but I don't mind games where they just kind of keep bringing songs back. It's kind of like Mario World, you know, you have like maybe a few handful of songs that pretty much play throughout the game, you know. But then there are other games, you know, where they have every single level has a different song. Usually that's preferable, I think. But yeah, I don't mind it too much if there's songs that get reused. And of course here it's not like it's any huge offender, because it's just the first level theme, just on this level. So, got these little mine carts again, and the barrier. Things get a little bit tight, I think, in the later parts of this level, but usually when I got the barrier, I just kind of run ahead like this. I do think there should be a machine gun coming up in a little bit. I'll probably try and grab that. Oh yeah, and spread gun too, of course. Maybe I'll go for that instead. But yeah, this game, I can't say too much else about some of the changes, I guess. Most of it's kind of the same, I guess, but I do like this last stretch of this game. I do think the NES game does it much better justice. Look at this part right here that kind of throws me off a little bit. You've got these guys one after another. Usually I get those guys right there, like right behind me, usually when I get to that part. But yeah, I guess that wasn't too much of a problem. And I'm about to make really short work of this boss. Yeah. Just press B to win. So we got a last level here, Alien's Lair. I do really like this last level music, it's pretty cool. I guess I'll stick with spread gun. And once again, this guy's back. Pretty much seen him a few times over the years in Contra games. I think there's actually really only a few Contra games that this boss does appear. Well, aside from this game, obviously, there's Contra 3, and then, of course, the Game Boy port of that, but I don't know, I can't think of too many other ones. But usually you have some of the other enemies making comebacks, like these mouths. You see them in Contra 3 as well, and Contra Hardcore, they actually come back. It's pretty cool, I think, when some game companies, you know, gotta pay attention a little bit more. But, yeah, you have some recurring enemies and bosses. I don't like when they get too carried away and it feels a little too much, you know, like a remake. You know, like I can understand Contra 4 doing it, you know, it's pretty cool. I don't really have anything against that game except, you know, my one little pet peeve with that game is just kind of having the standard rifle again. Why don't we just do this? Once again, nope. Oh well, I could probably just make it. Yeah. I do like those colors, looks pretty cool. You know, NES graphics. I think a lot of old games are just fascinating for the colors, you know, that was the thing that drew me in when I was little. Just growing up watching a lot of these games is just looking at the colors and the graphics, you know. It was just really fascinating for little 2-year-old me, but yeah. Anyway, that's the first Contra. Don't really have anything else to say other than, well, it's a classic, quite enjoy it, and get this last little message. Congratulations, you've destroyed the Vile Red Falcon and saved the universe. Consider yourself a hero, yeah. Staff, etc., etc. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that. I certainly enjoyed playing it, even though I got really distracted with talking. I was too busy talking to be able to play well. But, oh well. You know, I already have my deathless run of this video, or game, that is. Already posted a deathless run of this game at some point on my YouTube channel. So, if you're looking for skill, well, yeah, actually, there's probably hundreds of videos of people playing that game. It really isn't that challenging if you know what to expect. Just like pretty much most of the Contra games, most of the enemies have patterns. There's a little bit of RNG here and there. Usually it's those foot soldiers, you know, or death joggers, whatever you want to call them. They're like the killer joggers off the coast of New Zealand. Presented by Konami, back when they did some really awesome games. But anyway, that's about it. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Alright, take care.